couple of days ago I received something really cool in the mail. Now the challenge is to try and do something cool with it. I've had lots of ideas, but I've decided to make a handle but keep Jimmy's name exposed. I'll start by making a sketch to work out exactly how I'm going to go about it. To give me a little more room to play with and so the handle doesn't get too big, I'm going to narrow the tang area and I'll make a couple more modifications to the blade as well. The tang needs to be parallel and also pretty straight. I'm using a diamond stone as the blade is hardened stainless steel. That's the bottom shoulder done. Now I'll do the top. That one is offset so I can extend the handle forward and help to frame the Diresta name. The tang's prepared. Next I'll start the handle, but first I'll take a moment to tell you about a Makers Mob announcement. Join myself, Jimmy Diresta, the Samurai Carpenter, John Hayes, Frank Howarth and John Peters for the Makers Mob Black Friday Cyber Monday sale. Now with over 80 plus woodworking projects and woodworking plans where you can learn from YouTube's top makers. Click the link in the description below if you want to get in on the Makers Mob biggest sale of the year. Make sure you jump on it now because it ends Monday at midnight. For the handle I'm using this piece of 12 by 40mm brass flat bar. I'll start by squaring up the ends as that will help later on when making the slots for the handle to slip over the tang. Now I'm marking out a window and that will expose the lettering. A milling machine would be handy here, and I do actually have one. I bought one recently. There's a couple of problems though. It needs a stand and it isn't set up yet, and also I have no idea how to use it. So I'll do what I usually do and manage with simple tools. It's not quite wide enough, but I'll leave the window at that for now, and I'll start on the tang slots. It still needs some fine tuning to get the tang all the way through the slot. I keep filing a little, testing, and then working out where I need to remove any more material. Now I need to shape the front of the handle, taking away the bottom corner, and that will allow the handle to move further forward. Next I need to file a little more out of the slot, then I'll be able to fully seat the handle all the way up to the shoulders on the tang. That's got it. Now I'll remove the handle and finish shaping the window. I reckon that's starting to look pretty cool, and I'm nearly ready to start shaping the handle, but first I need to shape the blade slightly to get a better transition into the handle. I've prepared this small piece of brass off camera to fit into the rear slot. It's slightly tapered, and I'll put the fat end in first and then pin over the end of the handle and lock it in place. I originally intended to pour epoxy into the window through the lettering and lock the handle in place. I really wanted to leave Diresta open, keeping it as a skeleton knife and directly viewable. The only other way, apart from relying on just glue, is to drill through the handle and blade and put a pin through. I thought that would be too difficult being hardened steel, but in the end I decided to give it a go. I have one cobalt drill bit which will give me the best chance. It's 1/8 of an inch and I have matching brass rods, so fingers crossed that it works. I don't know what I worried about, it did it easily. I drilled the pinhole at this stage as the faces of the handle are still flat, and now I'll start shaping those faces. I've got no exact plan here, so I'll start shaping it and just see where it goes. I've decided to put a radius on the top and the bottom of the handle, and that's much quicker and easier to do on the belt grinder. I'll put a link in the description below where you can purchase your own Diresta blade and see what you can do with it. It's starting to come together. Next I'll sand inside the window and the bolster end of the handle. I'm only sanding to 180 grit as brass gets pretty scratched up anyway. I'm also going to put a forced patina on it to give it an aged look, which I much prefer to shiny brass, and because of that it doesn't need highly polishing. The last shaping I'll do to the handle is put chamfers on all the edges. That will make it more comfortable to hold and should look pretty cool too. I thought about adding a checker pattern to the sides of the handle. I reckon that would look really cool, but I'm running out of time. Here's a sample that I tried, and I may still do it to the knife later on. Before I put it together, I'll grind a little off the blade tip to drop the point, just because I reckon this looks better with the handle that I've made. I'll clean up the blade by giving it a quick polish with a cork belt, then I'll get on with putting the knife together. I cut a small brass pin off camera. When that's installed, it will lock the blade and the handle together. I plan to file the excess off after pining the ends, but I liked how they look, so I'm going to leave them as they are. For the patina, I'm using salt and vinegar, but I'm running out of time, and this process works better the longer you leave it. The brass handle will be above the vinegar so it doesn't get wet. It's just the fumes that will make the patina, and the vinegar shouldn't affect the stainless steel blade. I do have another patina solution that works in minutes. It looks pretty cool, but it does come out a little orange on brass, and it doesn't really give it that aged look. I left it a couple of hours and the patina wasn't that effective in that short a time, but it did get a bit of a start, and now I'll let it age in its own time. It did leave a tide mark on the blade, but it polished out easy enough. I really enjoyed this project, and there was surprisingly quite a lot to figure out for just a handle, and I reckon it looks pretty cool. A big thanks to Jimmy for giving me the chance to play around with the knife. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.